9th, 2024. Cow checking time. Grass is getting some height to it. I usually don't go checking cows in the pickup when it's like this because it'd be easy to run over a baby calf or something, and I don't want to do that. Mamas plant them calves and tell them not to get up, and they won't get up. You'll just run right over them. Don't ask me, I know. But I gotta go check these things. Gonna give them a little counting as we go by. There's 2. 3, 4, 5. Had to go over to Commerce yesterday, and the wheat's starting to turn in their fields over there. It won't be long. Fescue, even out in our pastures, is putting the head on. I like to have my spraying all done by the time that happens, but apparently not this year. Got them all, 25. Kind of strung out today, but that's all right. It's rough, but we'll just go south from here and get on our trails down here. Try to do some moving around and fixing. I bought my folks' place, and my dad had a little pin and a head gate attached to 2 really heavy panels in his pen down there by his pond on the back of his place. He used that whenever he was calving. He would calve all of his cows out on his 40 there at his house, closest to his bale lot, and that's always the time of the winter when we're putting out a lot of hay. So, and he'd get on them old rocky hills around his 40 there without having trouble getting stuck, so that worked good. He would catch them baby calves and put them on his 4-wheeler a lot of the time and carry them down there through that pen, and the cow would follow him, and then he'd put the cow and the baby calf off onto more pasture. He might start off calving out 50 cows in 40 acres. And didn't take very long right after calving started that where it got more manageable, and I wasn't any grass to eat at that time anyway, so they were just getting hay, and he was hauling every bite to them. And then anybody that don't know, cows do a lot better grazing the stuff that's growing. It's a much better food source than just eating hay. You can feed them hay and they'll grow, but they don't grow nothing like they do whenever they've got all the grass, that good green, fresh, new grass that they can eat. It's just not the same. But anyway, I'll see if I can get some more footage here, and we'll go from there. I'll bring you out after a bit. We're gonna move that chute that I was telling you about, put it up the bullpen. Got some fence fixing to do. Gonna move the cows that are at mom and dad's to the south one of those 40s. Anyway, I'll bring you back. This is the problem I had with my MIG welder when I took it to you, and it's still got the same problem.
The wire feed speed's on 5.5, temp on medium 4. Let's go up to 6, see if it straightens out. Well, I cheated you again. I'm here working on my log truck, trying to put this bumper on it so I can pull a trailer that I bought for it to haul my skid steer on. And I'm not needing to move the skid steer or nothing, but I'm here working on this, and I've been using my little cracker box welder, saltine crackers, but I wanted to use that. I bought that when I was right out of high school, so it's like 32, 3 years old. It has been giving me some trouble. I put it in storage at my dad's when I first moved my shop over here, because I didn't want to bring it over here. There wasn't nobody living here at that time. And so I put it in his barn, and stayed nice and dry there and everything, and on a concrete floor even. And ever since I got it out of that, I've been having trouble with it. And I can't remember that I had these troubles before, but it's possible even that I was having trouble before. And here's what it does. It doesn't feed constant. And I can't get it figured out what it is. I actually took it to town a couple years ago and had a guy change the liner in the lead on it. And he didn't charge me all that much. And he claimed he welded with it and it welded fine, but it won't feed the wire constant, and the motor on it's moving fine. It just runs like a top. Well, I'm not sure if it ain't the wire I've got, but dadgummit, you buy a 35-pound box of that, 25-pound or something like that. It's pretty expensive just to throw the wire that I've got away. But I did see some corrosion on the wire that's in it. I may take it back apart and wheel a bunch of it off and see if I can get to good. But it's weird what it's doing. It pulls on the spool a little bit and then stops, and pulls a little bit and stops, and pulls a little bit and stops. And it doesn't matter what you got the tension put on. I did take they got little wheels with cuts in them for that wire to go in, and I took that wheel and scraped it all out really good. And it did have a little bit of stuff that actually looked like black grease, but I don't know what it was in that cut on it. And so my next thought is maybe I need to take that wheel back off of there and get me some brake cleaner and brake clean it really good down in that gap. I was just using a screwdriver to scrape down in the gap on them. I may try that, I don't know. It's kind of aggravating. I wanted to use some on this, and instead I had to go buy more welding rods, but that's just kind of a fact of life, buying welding rods. So I'm gonna get off here and I'll show you what it looks like when I get her all welded up. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 more welds to make, and I'll have it done. Yeah. And somebody's gonna say, boy, isn't that kind of high? Yeah, it is, but the trailer has adjustment on it to where I can change where the hitch is on the trailer, so I'm going to do that too. So yeah, we'll see here in a little bit.
I think I just got done. Well, I couldn't weld it on the back because it had too big of a gap, but that's pretty heavy stuff. And the tube I made boxed. It's got another piece of angle iron on the back of it, and it's welded to the cross member as well. I think it'll work fine. I'm not pulling a bulldozer trailer, but sometime I'll probably haul it much. I don't know. Just a rough old deal. But I need a way to pull a pintle hitch trailer. So now I got one. Yeah, I kind of shafted y'all on this video. Didn't get any footage of some of the other stuff we done today. Kevin helped me work on this truck some. We got that tacked together and drilled the holes and put the hitch on the plate or on the angle iron before we welded the tubes together, or the angle iron together to make the tube. And then we had to cut some other pieces, and he done all the cutting. Rained enough we can't log. So the ground's too wet to get them out of where we're at. And I have a feeling in the woods it's just sopping wet. We got like an inch in an hour yesterday afternoon. It was kind of a weird thing. It caused us to have to cancel church because of the weather. And we just have youth meeting on Wednesday night because we're without a youth leader. I couldn't get anybody to even volunteer to teach them. And so I've been teaching the youth on Wednesday night. And we've got some ladies that volunteer and have cooked. They cook supper for them every Wednesday night. So we went that away. And the two ladies that do that, cooking, are both teachers at different schools. One's at Fairland and one's at Seneca. And my town is Commerce. Fairland is, I think, about 15 miles, something like that, south of where my church is. And Seneca's probably 20, 22 miles maybe east of where my church is at. And because they had tornado watches about the same time as they would be letting school out, or a little before that, that stayed on until almost 5 o'clock. Those guys get in their shelter, and they wouldn't of course they couldn't leave because they had to be there for the students. They wouldn't let any students leave until the storm had passed, which would have give our people, like, after travel time, would have given them less than 30 minutes to have gathered something up, got to the church, and cooked it to be ready for our services. So we just canceled. And I know extenuating circumstances sometimes makes that necessary. But anyway, I was going to do the welding part of that on a quick, but I don't guess I'm going to get to, so since I picked this up and went to talking to it, I'll sound like Mickey Mouse or Alvin and the Chipmunks if I did all this fast. So I got that put together. Got some other things I could do to this old truck. One thing, the windshield wipers don't work. And it's kind of a requirement that your windshield wipers work in order for them to pass a roadside inspection. Of course, I'm going to do my best to not ever meet somebody or get pulled over. Need a roadside inspection. They'll find a lot more than that probably, but So I priced a windshield wiper motor and gearbox. It's all one setup on these, and they're getting obsolete. My low price internet connection says $150 for a windshield wiper motor and gearbox. I don't know if we'll fix that or not. I fixed one of these one time that was burned, and it had messed all that up. And I put a hand crank on the inside of the cab where you could move the windshield wiper back and forth. So you just had to sit there and move the windshield wiper, and you get to figuring out that you didn't have to run it as fast. You could delay it and have it standing up was okay. And you had to kind of know where you was going when you was shifting, because it took 3 hands instead of just 2. I bet it wouldn't have passed inspection, but it's been somebody else's for a long time. So I'm going to shut the lights off and get out of here. I'm pretty sure nothing's going to catch on fire. That was what you get of working on the log truck for today. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.